Hello everyone, this is BIGALSKIx.
And this is JTB.
And this is chapter 6 of my Ninja Ninja Gaiden? Man, I've been playing too much.
That's the DLC. That's Hurricane Pack 3, where Ryu just has a greenhouse.
Yeah, he throws shurikens
He's growing his own
mow
veg.
the lawn or something. But anyway, this is chapter 6. This is not upgrading the flails. I'm making 2. Now you can drag the essence on this, but since the UT really doesn't kill these guys, even with the sun, I just decided to fight them straight out and just go from there, because you might whiff or you might get a shuriken.
Yeah.
So that's my playstyle. I know JTB would do something maybe a little bit different, but that's what I decided to do for this.
The UT killing them is really inconsistent. At the moment, I've just finished chapter 5 on my run. My run's successive play, so it's quite a bit easier in some ways, but I've had that UT kill them without Armlet of the Sun, and yet other times I've hit them with a full UT and then done like forward YY and they still haven't died with Sun on, so...
Yeah, I just found
Who
that
knows
was a
what's
little bit
going on
better.
there.
Counterattack or jump on their heads to a Zuna drop. Here, drag the essence, and here's something else. We were talking about patterns, and he's doing a run right now, kind of close to the same place. And I was watching his stream, and like here, I think I get 9 kills or 10, but he gets 1 more kill. So I don't understand where that kill was coming from. Again, talking about the inconsistencies of the game.
The other thing that makes it a little bit weird on this chapter is there really isn't a whole lot of potential for money in this chapter. These guys are really, really low essence payout. The monks are just the same as a ninja, pretty much.
See, I got 9, but you got 10.
Yeah, I had 10 on that. That's
that.
weird. And then you think about it, the zombies are worth quite a bit of money, but you want to be killing them really, really quick, so you're going to be using the vast majority of that essence for UTs instead of collecting it.
So again, just to let people know what I'm doing, my goal is to make the time limits and focus on getting essence. So there's going to be a lot of Azuna drops. There's going to be a lot of UTs, because that's what you need to do, especially the UTs, to gather the money. Now, since I missed that kill, I ended up coming back out here, just in case.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is definitely a fight that makes sense to respawn, because you can literally just go in and out.
But I think we'll get to that point at the end. So anyway, so I did that fight. Now I go save. And an NGB, when you're doing a karma run, you have the opportunity, because of the time limits on the higher levels, to save quite a bit. And this is not the case in Chapter 6 on Very Hard. Not at all. At least for me. I stretched it out, and you'll see my movement's not anywhere as good, my fighting's not anywhere as good, but I'm still able to make the time limits. And see here, you were smart. I think you just nimpoed this guy. And see, I missed my jump X to knock him down. So see, now I'm already in trouble. And I was gonna, say, you know what? Let me just start over. And then I'm like, well, I've got to practice to see what's going on. That right there was a wasted Azuna drop that I didn't have to do.
Yeah.
And so, again, that's counting on time. I mean, a lot of this stuff is bad, but it's good that people can see my mistakes and learn from them.
Yeah, I mean, these imps in particular, I think one thing that I've started doing is really taking note of, kind of almost B&B-like combos.
Look at my forward Y, my Fiend Sealer miss right there.
Yeah.
That's so irritating. I'm sorry to interrupt. But I went right there, and it did the hold Y move. I don't understand that. But anyway, sorry.
It's just the proximity of the enemy. Like I find that very hard to explain, because it's something that I do a lot on my runs. Is I really abuse the Fiend Sealer, because it's in terms of like damage output and time, it's probably the fastest move in the game. Like back-to-back Fiend Sealers is extremely powerful and it's extremely fast.
That right there was a missed input on my shuriken whenever I jumped up. So I'm just like, oh my god. And like I said, normally, this is kind of embarrassing to show, but I still make the time limit.
Yeah, it still works, and it depends on what you're going for, because like looking at this, even thinking about the run I'm doing, as I mentioned, it's on successive play. I have Fortune and an extra Nimpo slot here, so I can be way more liberal with Nimpo, because the monks in general tend to have a pretty good Nimpo drop rate. And I have that crazy ability, you know, where I can just tell the game to give me an impo, and it does. Which, you know, it
Yeah,
helps
I saw
out,
that
you know.
on the stream.
It's nice to have that, you know. It's a nice little trick. But you know, having fortune and that extra nimpo slot means that not only do I have an extra nimpo just right out of the gate, I've got 3 here as opposed to 2. You know, if Al was to use 2 nimpos here, he'd have to get 2 nimpo drops to get that back. Whereas because I've got fortune, I only need to get 1. So I think when I come around to this on a fresh save, it's going to be a different approach, because I'm not going to be able to have that kind of cushion of, oh, I just need 1 Nimpo orb and I'm fine.
Right. Well, I tell you what, oh, here's something else I wanted to show too. Like, this is my luck right here. Here we go.
Oh, man. For a minute there, I thought Ryu was just going to attack the imp. Like, with the fireball.
Right. But still, that's just kind of my luck, you know? It's just kind of how it goes. And then my UT kind of doesn't get anybody.
Oh, he just teleported out of your incendiary there as well, I think. Yeah, that's one thing to go back about what you're talking about saving as well. Like, the saving patterns are so much different in NGO4, because unless the save really kind of costs you no time, which realistically, in a fight, in a chapter where you're going back and forth, that's never really going to be the case. Saving on these runs really isn't of any real benefit, because, you know, in Black you save because you're going for this very specific pattern that you don't get very often in order to maximize points, whereas in this game you're simply going for speed, and provided you know enough about the combat, you can kind of always go for speed no matter what. That's not too bad. So, but on the flip side of that, of course, is it makes the gauntlets just insanely long in comparison to Black. You know, in, like Chapter 6 as an example, the longest gauntlet on this chapter with, you know, in Black would be like the zombie gauntlet, whereas here you're having to do almost all of it up until the Fiend challenge just in one go.
Yeah, and that was kind of a pain in the ass. And see, I hate how he attacked. I went to go forward Y him, or, you know, to scoop him up, and he ended up going towards the net. And that's one reason, you know, I try to do that every now and then to drop out of it, to be slick, but they always seem to know when you're trying to be slick.
Yeah, that's the thing. I've mentioned that a couple of times before. You know, whenever you're juggling an enemy, I don't know if people do it, but if you're concentrating on the enemy you're juggling on, you're doing it wrong. Like, you know, when you're in the air, like, what I do is you look at the floor, like, look at what the enemies around you are doing, because the in-air X string, the great thing about it is that it's super delayable. So you can, like, do, you know, X, Y, X, kind of take note of, oh, that enemy's mid-string, I'll do another X. Oh, he's mid-string, I'll do another X, but now I can drop down and on landing. Like, you should...
Look at my luck here. Look at this.
Where's this monk? Yeah. I was going to say, what's he doing? He's late for work.
See, and just my inconsistency of the moves, I should have thrown a shuriken there. But, you know, when you start thinking, oh, I've hit the guy 4 or 5 times, and, you know, he should die on this string, so I'm going to save my incendiary, and then he doesn't die.
Yeah, the one thing I wish this game had, in hindsight, was enemy health bars, because it'd be really interesting to compare them between this and Black, because especially the ninjas, I think they're one of the enemies that really just make you realize that some of them have like 2 or 3 times the health they have in NGB. In NGB, for example, the monk fiends, it doesn't happen all the time, but an air destruction slash into fiend sealer takes them out in one shot. Like, that's all you need. Whereas in this game, it can take up to 1 more fiend sealer or like a full blade of Miriti string to kill them. You know, they have, it's not like they've got, oh, a little bit more health. Like, it's kind of crazy how much more health they have.
Well, I sat there, and again, some missed inputs have really cost me some time here. And now I think there's 6 imps in 6 months, or either 8 imps and 4 monks. But see, again, my movement, you know, is so bad compared to yours.
I think I'd be like well under the table right now on where he's drinking game. Someone would have to be taking me home. Yeah, someone would be putting me in a taxi, taking me home. Oh, that was a good one.
Yeah, for those who don't know. Now, I could go down, but I'm going to go and, since I'm doing, again, this is not upgraded flails, I'm going to go and get what I need for the... What am I doing? The archive challenge.
Yeah.
But for those who don't know, Unwary said, a new drinking game is to every time the counter, Big Al hits the counter thing, somebody needs to take a drink. Well, there'd be a lot of drunk people if they had to watch that. But I will say, you've done it a couple times too, so.
Oh, yeah. I do it on purpose, though, obviously. You know what it is, man. I just do it to make sure people are, paying attention.
Right.
Make sure the time is on screen. The thing I find that gets it for me is, when you're doing a UT to open a fight, and again, this is just practice that you have to do. If you hammer on the Y button really, really hard, and think of like horrible things to say to the enemy, you're 50% more likely to kill them. So sometimes when that happens, I accidentally hit the left stick when I'm mashing on the Y button. like this guy's gonna die, and then he doesn't die anyway, and it never works.
So what I wanted to show here, again, this is something I maybe could have cut out, but I want to show that I did pick up that Devil Elixir. I am putting everything in to get ready for my archive challenge. I want to use the Nimpo. This time limit is tough to make. I actually, even though as bad as this is, it was still like 20 seconds faster than one of my other ones. I don't know if I could speed this up or not, but I think when you speed it up, people kind of get lost on the good and the bad of what
it is harder to
happen.
Keep up. Yeah, and I mean this challenge in particular. This was it was yesterday when I was streaming this. I was on the surface. I thought, what's the flails really going to help with? And obviously, there's the zombies. Having that level 2 UT is massive. But the biggest thing I didn't really take into account, I think I played this challenge up until like 30 enemies with the dragon sword. And then I swapped over to the level 2 flails, and there's 2 massive things that the flails gives you. Actually, there's 3, I tell a lie. The first thing, is their UT is just ridiculous. Like, if you get an imp with 1 flail UT, the odds of you taking both out are, probably 70%. Like, 7 times out of 10, you'll take out both imps with 1 UT. Which is really, really good. The other thing is the flail's counter-attack. It only has 1 counter, but it's that, arc kick that Ryu does. It's super, super fast, it recovers insanely quickly, and it sets you up for a guaranteed Fiend Sealer, straight away on an imp, which then takes them out. And the other great thing about the flail's Fiend Sealer is the hitbox on it is insane. You can hit an enemy on the floor, and an enemy can be behind Ryu, and they'll still get nailed by it, so that's really good. And the other last thing is the in-air XY Fiend Sealer on the monks. More often than not, takes out the monks in 1 shot. So that you can kill a monk in 4 seconds with the level 2 flails.
I've gotten a couple unlucky, went to go UT and it whiff, or again, tried to jump the one way and then jump the other way. And, again, some of this is just bad play on my part, but some of it is just, man, that was a little unlucky that he missed everybody.
Yeah. It's funny, I noticed I was doing this as well, throwing the incendiaries on the monks. Thinking about it, is it really worth using the incendiaries? Would they do enough damage to the monk?
See, that was my fault. I went to roll one way and then jump back. And I think I just have my input in already, and I really just dog it.
Yeah, we said about speeding this up, and yet you're already at 30 kills, so probably a good thing we didn't speed this up. But yeah, just going back to what I was saying about the flails, I think they're the main things for it. The thing on the monks is definitely the best, because the quickest kill I was able to get on a monk fiend was, bearing in mind they have to spawn right next to you as well, was air destruction slash into helm splitter and then just do 2 fiend sealers. That takes about 7 to 8 seconds depending on where they spawn. So with the level 2 flails, you're quite literally cutting your time to kill the last, say, 20 monk fiends in half, and that saves you a lot of time in this fight.
Well, we'll get to that, because like I said, I did upgrade the flails, and that was just kind of to see how the time limit would be.
Yeah.
At least I was able to kind of get out of that. And see, boy, I wish I'd saw that Nimpo in time. That was one of the things that you can do that happened in the monk safe room, and you could actually do it here too. You can actually flying swallow through the monks with some consistency. Like in Ninja Gaiden, you can't. Or Ninja Gaiden Black, you can't do that. If you try to flying swallow at the monks, very rare will you be able to hit them.
Yeah, they just dodge out of the way pretty much all the time.
But here they don't. So I just, I ran out of shuriken, switch over to the windmill. I know I'm going to get, you were talking about, are the incendiary shurikens even worth it? Mm-hmm. you know you're going to be able to get them as you drop back down. So you might as well, you know, maybe get a little lucky. Look how they all dodged all that stuff. I mean, these guys seem to be a little bit smarter.
Yeah, they're definitely. I mean, that helm splitter definitely would have hit that guy in black. Because this is
look
the difference,
that.
I suppose.
See how that move was? It didn't attack the down enemy, but then I was too far away to get the other guy. It's just
looking at this, like you can tell the difference. Like if you put the crab fiend like skin on these,
that didn't
imps,
kill anybody. That you
yeah, that sucks. Like it would make sense. It's weird to see like brown imps. I love it when you like down a guy with a fiend sealer that's trying to get away. That looks so funny. Yeah, like you look at the way they move and the way they behave. You know, if it was crab fiends doing this, you'd be like, yeah, that's fine. It makes perfect sense. I think it's for me at least, there's definitely like a mental disconnect of like, wow, brown imps are dodging my moves. Like they're not allowed to do that. You only get these enemies on normal, you know, in NGB, and they're dumb as bricks. Whereas in this game, they actually do dodge you a lot more.
Right. Well, one thing I want to, we've talked about it before, and we'll talk about it again because it comes up, to watch your kill counter. Because I should have fiend sealed the guy that I knocked down, but I wasn't watching my kill counter and thought he was already down. So he ended up getting up, so that cost me some time. And remember, you can direct your UT.
Yeah.
And also, I hate it when these monks, sometimes they, you know, it shows on the ground and it doesn't. Their little ground attack.
Oh yeah, their portal. I would assume that's just probably a glitch. Like that's probably not supposed to happen, but it's easy to forget about it. Like you see the animation, but then because the portals aren't on the ground, you think, oh, it's fine, and then you just see your health bar literally just disappear because you got caught in all three of them.
Right. Well then, again, some missed inputs. I don't know why I do that. I mean, I really don't. I went to go X, Y, and I don't, again, why I'm not catching them, but there was like 3 times right there that I missed my opportunity to counterattack and into a Mizuna drop. But I've learned here, like I said, if you ever try to get like real fancy, if you play like me, it could get you in trouble.
Well, rarely is Flair optimal. That's the thing you have to remember as well. Flair is all well and good, but it's very rarely like the best option.
Well, I mean, you know, for guys like JTB Speed, you know, you can do all this stuff with Flair and those guys like that, but you know, for guys like my speed, I got to stick with the tried and true if I want to accomplish, you know, my goal.
Yeah.
Now, I've said it all the time, and I'll say it again every opportunity I get. If you're not worried about time, if you're not worried about making chapter bonuses and all that stuff, you know, the game's not hard at all. You know, who cares as long as you get through it. See, again, I kind of
so
hit
the
wall.
Now we're at Monk Fiends. Oh no, you still got some in. You know one thing that we need to do, I keep meaning to do it but never getting around to it, it's actually counting like the Fiend Challenge splits and putting that information on the site.
Well, here, I mean, it wouldn't be that hard to just go up top and, you know, kill all the guys. Like you said, it's just a matter of doing it.
I think it's a credit to the Izuna drop that move just still hasn't gotten old. You know, like that move is so goddamn cool.
See, I don't know why I even did that. I knew he wasn't coming. So this is kind of the optimal move here. Jump X if he's next to you. Let's say you can flying swallow through him, but again, I missed it.
Yes, I mean, we'll take note of the time here. So you're at we'll call it 160 with 16 monks. And then just think back to what I said about the flails, like how much faster this would be with the flails is kind of insane.
See, this is what you want to do right here, and hope he doesn't get up. But the move is when you're... Well, it's hard to say what the move is whenever I'm playing. There, you want it to go down. There you go.
You want that. I mean, look at that. Was that 3 Fiend Sealers?
I think it was just 2. Was it there? And then, oh, maybe.
Yeah, that's... Was it 3? Counting is hard, people, when you're watching a video, you know, when multitasking, you know, it's difficult.
But see, what I should do is, there I go, see, then throw the, you know, so I'm not always using the tools that I, see again, why am I not throwing the windmill shark in there? So again, it's not always what to do, it's what not to do. And then see, now it's like, okay, where is he? Boy, I hate not having that rotating camera.
Yeah, I do miss that, I gotta say. It's cool to kind of, you know, be reminded, though, of, like, you know, NGO4 was a different beast. And, you know, in a lot of ways, they're very subtle, but, you know, when you've played a crazy amount of Black, you know, coming back to this game, you're like, oh, yeah.
See, why did it go that way whenever I hit X plus A?
That was weird.
I mean, I know I'm not that bad. Well, I mean, I might be, but...
I think
but that's the optimal strategy right there. See, and I tried to UT him, which was bad. So when that happens and they start getting away, it's probably best to just go back with them. Or, you know, or get away so you don't struggle to try to figure out where they are.
Yeah. I mean, you can look at, kind of pay attention to the time here. We're at 2 minutes almost to take out these monk fiends, and you know you'll see it in the next video, not in this video.
Right.
Like just how much quicker the flails are at taking these guys out is insane.
So, believe it or not, as bad as that was still faster than one of my other runs, or my other one that I was going to keep. And then that's when I went over by like 3 minutes because I'd like saved earlier.
Yeah.
And so I had to go back and, you know, really just come up with a much better save pattern. You know, I almost wish that the game was like that, to where you had to really be optimal on the saves instead of giving you so much time you could save after every fight.
Yeah, I suppose it would be, but I suppose the downside to that would be, like, can you imagine how much more annoying that would make, like, going for max stuff?
Well, only a few people would want to do that.
Well, true, yeah.
Let's see, I don't think that killed that guy behind me. See, and again, I hate my knowing where I'm going self.
Oh, one thing to note here, actually, because I tried this yesterday and I was kind of annoyed. One cool thing you can do here, and it's actually really, really quick, is if you stay near the edge, you can just guillotine throw these guys off the cliff. And while it will kill them, obviously, you don't actually get credit for the kill. So it's kind of annoying that the game had kind of thought of that. And like, no, like, you're not being cheap. Like, you got to kill these guys properly. Because it is funny to just guillotine throw these guys just into oblivion. But unfortunately, you don't get the kill for it.
I still haven't picked up the guillotine throw. Remember, what were you saying? Whenever you try to do like an on landing to do a UT, sometimes it'll end up guillotine throwing them and mess you up.
One of the things that is like the biggest adjustment so far, going from Black to this, is that for anyone that doesn't know, the guillotine throw input was a lot different in this game, and it was as you're passing an enemy mid-air, you have to press Y, and that's how you get the guillotine throw to come out. Just so happens that input is exactly the same timing as the timing is doing an on-landing UT when you're right next to an enemy in Black. So one thing that I've been having to really adjust to is delaying that Y input so that I get my UT and I don't get a gleaming blade. Because if you go into a fight with chained essence and you're thinking, oh yeah, right, awesome, on-landing UT, and you get a guillotine throw.
The guy was still alive.
Yeah, they're tanks in this game. Yeah, you get that guillotine throw, and not only is the guillotine throw's recovery in this game absolutely insane, like, you cannot get anything after a guillotine throw, you're incredibly vulnerable. If you're, you know, really chaining essence from far away, your essence is going to have disappeared by the time you can roll, jump away, and do another on landing. So, I really wish you could just turn off the guillotine throw sometimes.
Well, one thing that I do a little bit different too, when you're usually playing for score, you'll run down the edges and try to kill a few bats to, you know, drop down and then UT the first guy. Well, they can spawn anywhere. And
yeah, they can. Yeah.
So it takes a little bit of time to run down. So I'm trying to cut corners wherever I can. Mm-hmm. So I just decided to
dodge those shurikens.
Huh?
The way he just dodged those shurikens.
Oh yeah.
He just killed. Like, yeah, like it's weird to see brown imps behave this way, you know.
So, but this is one of these long gauntlets now, because, you know, I don't have time to go back up and save. And so it's a pain in the ass, especially with this level 2 dragon sword and level 1 flails that I'm going to get. But I did anything I could to save just a little bit of time, because as long as I made the time limit, for the most part, I felt I was okay. But after playing through this, you know, that's not always the case. You know, you almost have to optimize the... Yeah, look at them dodge all those shurikens. You almost have to really try to do better on the fights. And that didn't kill anybody.
Yeah, that's the thing with this game. It's easy to... if you don't play with the timer up, you might not realize it. You know, when you're doing stuff like an Azuna drop, for example, you think, oh, great, that's a really fast way to kill an enemy. You know, they're dead. It's actually not, if you look at the time it takes. Like, if you look at the time of an Azuna drop from start to finish before you can move again, versus just doing something like forward Y Fiend Sealer. Like, forward Y Fiend Sealer is, you know, 2 to 3 times as fast as doing an Azuna drop. So you really do have to keep in mind, you know, what moves am I doing? Let's say you hit an enemy with an ET, they're at death's door. All you really need to do on them now is a forward YY. If you forward Y them and go into an Azuna drop, you know, that enemy was dead on the second hit. So those
which happened earlier in the game.
You're wasting. Yeah, like you're wasting that time, you know, beating up an enemy that's dead.
And I think I said it before, but make sure you control the direction of a UT. You can do it with the Dragon Sword, you can do it with the Flails. So keep that in mind whenever you're looking at the kill counter. And see, you could start off and maybe do a Nimpo here. I don't think I do. But, oh no, I got a free Nimpo figures.
Man,
well,
I wish the, what's it called? I wish you had Inazuma here. Speaking of Nimpo, I really wish you had Inazuma. You could just come in here and just light up Inazuma.
So, this next few sections, now I'm worried about speed because of my end of chapter, you know, my end of chapter time limit. So I'm really going to have to kind of Nimpo my way through. And again, I always dodge.
Oh, that was lucky.
The
archers are just brutal in this game.
But see, I'm standing there close to kind of group them up. That's what I was trying to do. But I think I end up using like a lot of Nimpo. Use my, look how that missed the guy. I mean, that totally missed the windmill shuriken. But anyway, I use like two great devil elixirs, I think, and a rebirth on all of this. I was trying to think of what you do about building up the combo counter. Do you want to explain that while this is kind of going on?
Yeah, I will do. So the combo, for anyone that's not watched the HP Essence stuff, you actually get a quite, well, I think it's a way better multiplier system in this game. But when you kill an enemy with a combo counter above 20, they give you an increased Essence bonus. And because of the way the Essence system works in this game, the actual orb spawning, the most one orb can hold is 700 Essence. So if you kill an enemy with a high combo and a UT, unlike NGB, where the UT multiplier, you know, takes priority over the combo multiplier, in this game they actually stack together. So you'll get the UT multiplier and a combo multiplier as well. I do need to check if it is actually HP1 style, but from the look of doing this, it does look very, very similar. So I doubt it's like, you know, a few percent difference for the sake of it, but you never know. So what you want to do in this fight, if you can, it is tricky because a back-to-back Flail UT is actually too slow to combo. Like, if you do a Flail UT and then just hold Y and do another Flail UT, that won't be a combo. The combo will die just before the second UT comes out. So what you want to try and do is end your Flail UT and then do a really quick move. So you want to do something like the X string with the flails, just the first hit. Or you want to try and do like X and then jump X on landing UT, and then that will stack up your combo. And I think you only need to get a combo of 20 or 30 plus on the zombies with a UT for them to give you 2 essence orbs when you kill them with a UT, and that's 1 zombie, which will make chaining essence, you know, way easier.
Yeah, way easier. Well, I sat there and missed, I kept doing XYY when I did, because I want to launch, it takes 2 forward Ys to launch the zombies, and that's what I was trying to do, but I came down with the Y. So that really kind of messed me up in terms of trying to get this a little bit faster. But like I said, I end up using a lot of Nimpo here. And you'll see that, you know, if you have multiple zombies around you, you don't have to kill any of them. If like 4 come up and you do a UT, because it's like the hits are being absorbed by all of them equally, so it's not doing the damage it normally would. So that's something else. Again, I knew that guy was close to death right there, and I wasted a UT on him. I should have really paid attention to that, maybe did like a XYY or something to jump on his head. But paying attention to all that stuff, it really adds up.
Oh yeah, it does, and like that's where the zombie. One thing the zombies have, and it is very irritating. We mentioned it before, but during some of their animations, they just have like a damage resistance to your attacks. Like when they try and do their grab, where they try and tackle you. During the startup of that grab, you know, they can tank an entire UT and it won't kill them. It's, you know, it's really weird like how that works, because it's sort of like armor, but it also gives them some kind of damage reduction as well.
I think here, there I go. Everybody's taking a drink right now.
Everyone's dead.
Everybody, their blood alcohol. Don't drive after watching my videos. But see, look, all that stuff didn't kill these guys. I said, you know what? Let me just get my Nimpo back, because I want to keep. I don't know how much I'm going to need. I tried to focus. See, at least I was able to kill all 3. So, you know, again, if you're going to use the Nimpo, I actually kill what, 4? So, like I said, focus on where to use your Nimpo. You don't want to just kill one with it just to get yourself out of trouble. And if you have to take a hit to do that, you know, again, it's easier for me to say, and I think we'll say it again. The switch right here, you have to have the dragon sword or plasma sword that I have, because if you try to do it with the flails, it won't connect.
I wonder why they changed that.
Well, I'm glad they did, so you don't have to always change
me too. Do you think maybe like someone in... Do you think maybe they were testing the game and someone in NGO4 just had the flails, and then like they were just doing it for like 20 minutes? They were like doing the kick. Like, why doesn't this work? And they saw that and were like, yeah, maybe that should work. Because the Luna works, doesn't it, on NGB?
Well, I think everything works.
Yeah, you can use the Luna. Even the directional, even the directional helm splitter works. You don't have to do the straight down one. Yeah.
So, you know, just keep that in mind.
This is another area where the level 2 flails really, really help, because these guys spawn far away, so you can't always get like the maximum fiend sealers on them.
Now, I wonder which one is stronger. So I have a level 2 plasma sword. So is that fiend sealer stronger than, you know, the level 1 the flail?
I don't think it is, and even if it was, I think the flail the flail fiend sealer recovers so much faster that you can get more of them anyway. Like, look how quickly you can kind of just go back to back, you know, on a fiend sealer. Because the flails, even at level 1, like the flails are still quite powerful. They're not obviously not as good as level 2, but they still
right
do
in the
pack a
hoo-ha.
punch. Yeah,
Stabbed him right in the dick.
No wonder he's dead.
Yeah, exactly. But you
Although it still took 2.
So you have to be in front of the zombies to launch.
Yeah.
Or maybe to the side a little bit, but definitely not from, you know,
you can be a little bit off center. Yeah, you can be a little bit off center, but like you definitely can't launch them from the back.
Oh, one thing I did, and also always be careful when you're going to UT or doing on landing or something like that. Your UT will actually, how it likes to go towards the control button.
Yep.
To set the thing down. If you UT and you have the dragon sword out and it hits that, it'll activate that switch. It happened to me.
Oh, what? And you go and you head back down?
Yeah.
Oh wow, I didn't actually know that.
Yeah.
So
well, it happened to me.
That's good to know for my run that I'll be doing later on.
Now I always kill this guy first. I know you usually go straight for the archer, but I always drag the essence. That's probably why you kill the guy first.
Yeah, I always go for the archer, because you know the reason I go for the archer is, you know, when you come into this encounter the archer is actually readying an arrow, so it gives you like a little bit of extra time to get towards him. Whereas if you kill another one first, he's now got an arrow locked and loaded, like ready to shoot.
See, of course it went to this guy. It didn't go to the other guy that I've already killed. And I'm thinking all I got to do is do a fast combo because, I Fiend Sealered him twice. I ET through him. And I ended up spending a lot more time on him than I wanted to. Thinking that he was already taking a lot of damage to where he'd be almost dead. So that's the inconsistencies that we're talking about.
It might just be, thinking about it, it could just be that, not necessarily the flails are more powerful. It might just be that the dragon sword is, a lot weaker in this game. Who knows? Because I'm thinking of the, when you... It's hard to compare the difficulties, because NGB has,
That irritated me so bad, because I thought I had yellow essence out. Sorry.
Yeah. But, comparing the damage in that on Very Hard and Master Ninja, I'd say Master Ninja is probably about the equivalent of hard. Oh, that sucks.
I'll tell you what, man. It was just so irritating, just this whole part of it. Because I think I'm going to launch him, and then I went to launch, and maybe because he's next to the chain, because it didn't launch the other guy either.
It might depend on if they've not got
No, but see, now it launched
depend on, what stun animation there. And, right here, look, they're just covered in armor, it's super annoying.
I went to go Fiend Sealer the guy, and did the Y to the other guy. I'm telling you, man. I'm just like, please let me figure out how to kill these guys because, I surely don't want to have to do all of this again. And I know sometimes it sounds like we're interrupting each other, and I think I've said it before. We really don't go over what we're going to say. We're kind of watching it live together. So, he doesn't always watch the video to know, I just think I said, screw it, let me just nympho these guys. That's how bad it was.
The aura, it's actually set him on fire. That was that was a cool, just little attention to detail there on the aura. That was really nice.
So we don't try to rudely interrupt each other. It just kind of happens with what's going on. So,
Yeah, exactly.
Now he goes up, but I always end up getting shot, or I fall off the stupid ledge. I can't tell you how many times I've done that. So it's like, what? I'm just going to stay back here, and then I think I can go up just a little bit. And then
this is way safer.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is way safer.
If I had the ability to control the camera angle a little bit better, I don't mind doing it because you can rotate it as you're going up so they don't see you. But this is also why you want to pick up some shurikens. Wait for him to kind of shoot the arrow before you throw the...
And also, you don't actually get a combo count. When the incendiary actually lands on them in this game, like you do in Black. So there's just a little noise that if you listen for it, it's almost like the shuriken kind of hitting metal, like a metal on metal noise.
Like a ping.
If you listen for that, you know that your shurikens actually hit home, and you just watch the combo counter because the impalement doesn't stun them like it does in Black. The explosion will. So after the explosion's happened, you know you're okay to move.
So make sure you kill at least a few of these bats so they don't tear your health up as you're going up.
Yeah, they're real hungry in this game.
Oh yeah, and they can go fast. But you can UT bats for essence, so if you need a little essence right there, kill a few and then UT them. But I forget what combo I do here. Yeah, I think I tried to do the XY, and it wouldn't hit. That actually didn't work out too bad, and then Flying Swallow into his leg. But again, see, you can use your Windmill Shuriken while he's transitioning. And I never know. You would think as long as I've played this game, I would know where the feet are going to come out. And I waited too long to light my fire wheels, which gave him another opportunity to go, take a swing. Firewall cancel, roll.
Here's another thing as well, just remember the damage here when you have the flails. The flails tear this guy apart.
Oh, see. And again, nope. But see, that's when I start to panic. It's like, okay, I know I only have a little bit of time left. Let me try to rush it, and when you rush it, you know, you get punished. That's actually the forward XXX is not a bad move on that guy right there. With
oh yeah, that's a really good string. Yeah,
especially with the Nimpo lit. So the time limit on this was 41 minutes. So I barely made it, and the kills were 289. So see, I didn't even need to go outside to fight those other 3. But because I lost one time or one kill compared to JTB's, I felt like I had to. And the other thing that we didn't do is once you put the book on the altar and jump down, when you jump back up, there is a timed fight, but it's a respawning fight for 5,000s. Maybe that's why they don't count it. But I could have swore after the update, when they took out all the respawning fights for the new chapters, that was a fight that you had to do.
That might be just a change they made. They may have gotten rid of the respawned fights, but made that like a proper fight. I don't know.
So in that chapter again, that's the level 2 Dragon Sword. You see how much Nimpo I had to use, and of course, obviously, you know, I could be faster on killing, but again, I don't have the skills to be as fast as, you know, some of the other players. But I was still able to do it, so hopefully that you know, gives people some ideas if they want to do this run. Go outside, I think the gate, the third fight, you know, where the imps are out of the gate, just go out of that one time just to make sure, just in case you throw an imp off the ledge or he falls off on a UT or something like that. That way you don't have to refight the whole thing. But I barely made it, and then that's when I said, you know what, let me try a different way with the flail. So that's what the next video is going to be. Any other thing you want to add in the level 2 flails?
No, just what you said about respawning that fight. That's actually a really good idea, because one of the you don't have to guillotine throw one of those enemies off the edge. If you knock them really far towards it, they will just fall backwards off the edge, and then, you know, that might cost you the kill bonus. So yeah, definitely actually respawn that fight just once and kill 3 more dudes.
Yeah, and you get a little extra essence out of it, and it only takes you know, a few seconds versus having to replay that last gauntlet. Of course, if you're going to upgrade the flails, it's going to be a totally different pattern. Like I said, we'll get to that in a moment. But that's it for Chapter 6, not upgrading the flails. And we'll see you in the next chapter. Take care, everyone.
See you everybody.